So sometimes videos just don't go as planned, and this particular video did not go as planned and even almost cost me $400, and I'll explain. Originally this video was going to be a review of the Fuji 35mm 1.4 lens. It's one of my favorite lenses. In fact, it's the one that's filming me right now. And generally it's the lens that I use for all these kind of in-studio videos that I do, and just a general great photography lens too. I love the 1.4, I love the focal length, it's very sharp. Just a really great lens that spends a lot of time on my camera. Now, as far as things not going as planned, the reason this video turned out to be not my in-depth review of this 35mm lens is that literally that day nothing went as I wanted it to go. First, I was planning to get out to the river in golden hour to have that beautiful soft light and take some awe-inspiring photos, and that just didn't work. It was a perfect storm between daylight savings time. We just lost an hour, between a fussy toddler. Just by the time we got out to the river, it was literally 12 o'clock. It was noon, which, as you know, is just the worst time for photos. It's that harsh daylight sun overhead, so that did not work out well. And then secondly, I had actually purchased a GoPro, which I think is going to be a great addition to these videos because I can mount it to my camera and use this for giving you kind of a behind the scenes look of when I'm taking photos, and you can see how, what I'm seeing when I take the photo. So I mounted it to the top of my camera just on the shoe mount, and evidently I didn't tighten it very well. So we were walking down the river, and at this one part the river had actually flooded due to the heavy rains. So the walkway was closed and we had to walk up a rather steep embankment, a very gravel, rocky embankment. So we kind of hike up this embankment and then we continue our walk. About 10 minutes later, I decided, okay, it's time to start taking photos again, and I pick up the Fuji camera. And sure enough, the GoPro is no longer mounted on top of the camera. Somewhere it had actually fallen off. I just hadn't tightened the mounts properly, I guess. So I ran back in somewhat of a panic, my brand new GoPro. Amazingly, I found it on the embankment. Two things here. First, a lot of people had been walking by it, so nobody took it. Thank you, people. Nobody stood on it, and the lens actually hadn't scratched, even though it was face down, unprotected lens on the rocks. So very thankful for that. So I managed to salvage my GoPro and attach it back to the Fujifilm. So as you can see, just pretty much kind of a disastrous day. I even used some wrong settings on the camera at some point. It was one of those days where I thought I'm just going to scrap all the footage and just be done with it and call it a write-off of a day. But then I realized, my own mantra is to always be creating content, and sometimes your content may not be perfect, but we shouldn't always just strive for this perfect content. It's sometimes very beneficial just to have everyday experiences, and this truly was, just everyday average photography and footage that I'd taken on that day based on everything that was happening. So I ended up putting the video together anyway to share with you guys. Now this again is not my review of the 35mm 1.4 lens. This video does not do the lens justice. That review will be forthcoming when I hopefully have a better day. But nonetheless, I hope you enjoy this video and that I could share our day at the river with you. thank you for watching. I hope I was able to at least show you that sometimes an imperfect day with imperfect light and imperfect photos can still result in a perfect memory. Thank you for joining us on our day out.